1950s. The 1950s were chaotic, violent, and unforgiving for quarterbacks, and most teams still treated the passing game like a gamble instead of a weapon. Offenses leaned on the run, defenses punished mistakes, and championships often came down to toughness instead of flair. Yet one quarterback completely bent that reality. Cleveland reached the championship game every single year he played, regardless of opponent or era. That alone sounds impossible, but it gets crazier. From 1950 to 1955, his teams went to 6 straight title games and walked away with 3 championships. Other quarterbacks like Norm Van Brocklin and Y.A. Tittle put up strong numbers, but they couldn't sustain dominance when the pressure peaked. This quarterback did not just survive big moments, he owned them. Halfway through the decade, the league had to accept that Otto Graham was operating on a different level. Graham won 3 league MVP awards, posted a career record of 105 wins, 17 losses, and 10 ties, and retired with a completion percentage considered elite for generations. He averaged over 8 yards per attempt in an era where defensive backs were allowed to maul receivers. His Browns never finished below second place. Even more shocking, he retired early while still at the top, leaving fans wondering how much more damage he could have done. No quarterback in the 1950s blended efficiency, leadership, and championship certainty like Graham, and nobody else from that era comes close to matching his postseason perfection. 1960s. Quarterback play in the 1960s finally began to resemble the modern game, but it still demanded toughness, improvisation, and command under relentless pressure. Defenses were brutal, rules favored contact, and passing success was far from guaranteed. Several names competed for dominance, including Bart Starr, Fran Tarkenton, and Len Dawson, all of whom had signature moments and championship runs. But one quarterback changed how the position was viewed forever. Midway through the decade, Johnny Unitas emerged as the calm center of chaos. He delivered in moments when others panicked. Unitas threw a touchdown pass in 47 consecutive games, a record that stood for over 50 years. He won league MVP awards in 1959 and 1964 and led the Baltimore Colts to a championship in 1968. His precision timing routes, 2-minute mastery, and emotional control redefined quarterback leadership. Starr had more rings, but Unitas had more influence. He finished his career with over 40,000 passing yards and 290 touchdowns, both records at the time. His most famous drive came in the 1958 title game when he calmly marched the Colts downfield in sudden death overtime. That moment did more for the league than any marketing campaign ever could. By the end of the 1960s, the NFL had its prototype quarterback, and everyone else was chasing what Unitas already mastered. 1970s. The 1970s were defined by defense, bruising hits, and conservative offense. Yet one quarterback thrived in chaos while delivering consistent success. Teams like Pittsburgh, Miami, and Oakland dominated with physical identity, while quarterbacks were expected to manage games instead of take control. Terry Bradshaw, Bob Breeze, and Ken Stabler all had legitimate cases, each winning championships and defining systems. But one quarterback balanced intelligence, mobility, and leadership better than anyone else. Halfway through the decade, Roger Staubach separated himself. Staubach led the Dallas Cowboys to 4 Super Bowl appearances and won 2 championships. He earned 6 Pro Bowl selections and led the league in passer rating 4 times. His calm under pressure earned the nickname Captain Comeback, and the Cowboys became America's team because of his reliability in prime time. Staubach retired with the highest career passer rating in NFL history at the time. His iconic Hail Mary completion in the 1975 playoffs symbolized belief in impossible moments. Bradshaw had rings, but Staubach had consistency. Breeze had efficiency, but Staubach had leadership. Every season felt like a deep run with him under center. The 1970s rewarded toughness and discipline, and Staubach delivered both without sacrificing brilliance. When the decade ended, no quarterback embodied winning football more completely than the Dallas leader who walked away while still elite. 1980s. The 1980s ushered in offensive creativity, rising passing numbers, and quarterbacks who were finally allowed to dominate games. Several legends built massive resumes during this era, including Dan Marino with record-breaking stats and John Elway with raw arm talent and improvisation. But championships defined greatness, and one quarterback mastered the biggest stage like no one else. points. Halfway through the decade, Joe Montana made his case undeniable. Montana went 4-0 in Super Bowls, throwing 11 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. He won 3 Super Bowl MVP awards and led multiple game-winning drives that became NFL folklore. His calm demeanor under pressure earned him the nickname Joe Cool, and his efficiency changed how coaches evaluated quarterback poise. Montana made 6 Pro Bowls, won a league MVP, and led the league in completion percentage 5 times. Marino shattered records, but Montana won wars. Elway reached Super Bowls, but Montana finished them. The 1989 season sealed it, when Montana threw for over 3,500 yards and 30 touchdowns, while posting a passer rating above 112. Every teammate trusted him completely. The 1980s became an era where nerves decided championships, and Montana simply did not have any. When the decade closed, the standard for quarterback greatness had been rewritten by perfection under pressure. 1990s, replacing a legend is supposed to be impossible, yet one quarterback stepped into history and made it look effortless. The 1990s featured elite talent everywhere, including Troy Aikman's championship efficiency, Brett Favre's gunslinger peak, and John Elway's late career redemption. But one quarterback dominated statistically and efficiently in ways that stunned defenses. Midway through the decade, Steve Young became the engine of San Francisco. Young won 2 league MVP awards, led the league in passer rating 6 times, and topped completion percentage 5 times. His 1994 Super Bowl performance remains one of the greatest ever, throwing 6 touchdown passes. He combined mobility with precision, punishing defenses that tried to spy him. Young finished his career with the highest passer rating in NFL history at retirement. Aikman won rings, but Young carried offense. Favre thrilled fans, but Young punished mistakes. Elway finished strong, but Young controlled games. His ability to run forced defensive adjustments before modern schemes existed. The 1990s evolved quarterback expectations, demanding both efficiency and creativity. Young delivered both while stepping out of Montana's shadow. By the time injuries forced his retirement, his dominance was undeniable. He didn't just replace a legend, he became one in his own right. 2000. The 2000s introduced defensive complexity, disguised coverages, and evolving offensive schemes that punished hesitation. Quarterbacks like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Ben Roethlisberger built strong cases, winning championships and delivering iconic moments. But one quarterback solved defenses faster than they could adapt. Halfway through the decade, Peyton Manning turned the position into mental warfare. Manning won 4 league MVP awards during the decade and led the NFL in passing touchdowns 4 times. His pre-snap adjustments exposed defensive weaknesses before the ball was snapped. He led the Colts to a Super Bowl victory in the 2006 season after years of playoff frustration. Manning made the Pro Bowl every season except one and became the face of offensive mastery. Brady won rings, but Manning rewrote preparation. Brees piled up yards, but Manning controlled games. From 1998 to 2010, Indianapolis made 11 straight playoff appearances. Manning retired as the NFL's all-time leader in passing yards and touchdowns. His rivalry with Brady defined an entire generation of football debate. The 2000s forced quarterbacks to be field generals, not just throwers. Manning mastered anticipation, accuracy, and command. When the decade ended, defenses feared one thing most: hearing his voice at the line of scrimmage calling out their coverage. 2010s. The 2010s featured offensive explosions, quarterback-friendly rules, and elite passers everywhere. Aaron Rodgers delivered efficiency, Drew Brees shattered volume records, and Russell Wilson redefined mobility. But championships and longevity still ruled the conversation. Halfway through the decade, Tom Brady separated himself permanently. Brady won 3 Super Bowls during the 2010s, including an iconic comeback from down 28-3 in Super Bowl 51. He added 2 league MVP awards and became the oldest MVP at age 40. Brady led multiple franchises to contention and thrived under constant scrutiny. Rodgers dazzled, but Brady endured. Brees produced numbers, but Brady produced banners. His playoff runs defied logic, including a Super Bowl win at age 43. Defenses knew what was coming and still failed to stop it. His leadership style evolved, his mechanics stayed sharp, and his hunger never faded. The 2010s closed with Brady holding more Super Bowl rings than any franchise. The argument was over. Football history had chosen its standard. 2020s. The 2020s didn't ease into a new era, it exploded into one. Young quarterbacks arrived confident, fearless, and ready to attack. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson all flashed brilliance and massive potential. But one quarterback seized control immediately. Halfway through the decade, Patrick Mahomes rewrote expectations. Mahomes reached multiple Super Bowls before turning 30, winning championships and MVP awards with jaw-dropping improvisation. He delivered a 13-second comeback drive that stunned Buffalo and changed playoff math forever. His arm angles, pocket movement, and calm creativity dismantled defensive game plans. Mahomes won Super Bowls with different supporting casts, proving it wasn't system-dependent. Allen thrilled fans, but Mahomes finished drives. Burrow challenged defenses, but Mahomes broke them. Lamar dazzled, but Mahomes adjusted. His postseason passer rating remains elite, and his comeback wins pile up yearly. Critics searched for flaws and found none sustainable. The league adapted and still couldn't stop him. The 2020s are still unfolding, but Mahomes has already built a Hall of Fame resume. Every Sunday feels like a highlight reel waiting to happen. The future arrived early, and it belongs to Kansas City. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for all of the great content we have coming up.